Hello, this is Tom Jacobs. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, psychic medium, and channel. Currently in Tucson, Arizona. You can find me on the web at tdjacobs.com. This is the next in a series of videos about the end of the Mayan calendar, which in fact is happening tomorrow, October 28th, 2011. And I want to talk today about our awareness of energy, an awareness of the fact that we are energetic beings. And you should give me a gold star for the day because I took the time to arrange the camera so you can see my entire face instead of just having this like cut off thing. So thanks in advance for the gold star if you have any to offer. So very serious topic. So energetic sensitivity. What I want to talk specifically about is because the way that the veils have dissolved or are dissolving, the veils between the partitions in our consciousness, what we can experience is all these emotions from the past, as I've talked about in these other videos, including the one about processing past life emotions. Well, it's just very important to get to the bottom of what emotion actually is in order to become more conscious operators of ourselves as emotional beings. So I say to you, you're an energetic being having a physical experience. We've heard this a lot. This is not new information. And what we need, or what we're ready to learn, is that we encounter energy and we respond with emotion. As I've channeled this Ascended Master Jehudi, also known as Thoth or Thoth, and Saint Germain and also Merlin, he's extremely clear that human evolution rests in our ability to get this truth really, really deeply, really understand this truth in an incredibly deep way. The evolution of the species, asks us to learn about ourselves as energetic beings. And this is what the opportunity is. And this information is coming through me quite a bit right now. So, of course, I want to do a little video on it for you. So you encounter energy and you respond with emotion. Essentially, this physical human body is a resonance instrument, as in a musical instrument that is played when it encounters energy. So you walk into a room and you feel something's wrong. You feel fear. The music of fear is what is being played on you right then. So you might not even be conscious of it, but perhaps an hour before there had been an argument in that room. Maybe people spend a lot of time in that room who don't like each other. We are energetic beings. We sense energy. You also know certain people, I'm sure, whose homes you love to go to. You might not even really personally connect with the people, but you love going to their homes. And that is evidence that there's positive or loving energy there that opens you up and makes you want to absorb it and take it in and have more of it. So what I've been guided to teach people is, to put in play in my life and then also teach people, is to work more consciously with ourselves given this truth. That we are essentially instruments being played by energy, but we are feeling emotion. Growing up in a very, from the language of astrology, very Saturnian culture, very consensus-oriented, bell curve, normalizing kind of culture, emotion can be a very difficult thing unless it's controlled very tightly. And because of the way that things are shifting now, there are lots of us who are finding that we cannot control ourselves in the same way. So I, of course, if you're watching these videos, you may have picked up that I have a Cancer South Node and a Scorpio Sun, and I also have a Moon and Mercury conjunct Neptune. So I have kind of a lot of water going on, and I want people to feel their emotions. I want everybody to feel all they can feel, but to become conscious operators of themselves as emotional beings. That's what we're talking about today. So there are lots of people who don't want to go out in crowds, for example, because of the energies they're going to encounter. And if conscious, people don't have to have problems. You don't have to feel subject to this experience as a negative. So again, we come back to grounding, how important it is to ground. I do the image of sending cords into the earth. I also use the stone to ground, the tiger iron that I've mentioned before in an earlier video, and that is this right here. And I was speaking with a client today. I said, "How do you ground?" Because I know she does intuitive work, and she said she breathes into her belly, and she really fills up her body. She really gets in her body. So that's great. But however it is that you need to ground, some people can sit against a tree. Some people need to walk barefoot on grass or dirt or rocks. But grounding, extremely important, to stay in the body, to feel all you can feel. In fact, to feel all you are feeling, but to be able to do it consciously and not feel swept away on a roller coaster of emotion. Because that's the fear that we're taught to have. If I really give into my emotions, there'll be chaos. It'll be out of control. It'll be too much. I'll break down. And the end of the Mayan calendar is this flashing neon light invitation to learn how to do this a little differently. So, instead of, oh, I never want to go there again, or I don't like going to that guy's house, my friend's house, or even my mom's house, or my dad's house, my sister's house. I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't want to experience this. Instead of all that, which has to do with attempting to prevent ourselves from being in situations in which we encounter a lot of difficult energy, let's get grounded. Because when you're grounded, you know exactly where your energy is, how big your field is, what, and this is key, what belongs to you and what doesn't. And you can consciously participate in different situations. There will still be things that you don't want to experience, and that's fine. But you don't need to feel subject to what's happening around you. Even I, who spends a lot of time working on this, I do have situations where I get overwhelmed, I get surprised by something, and I take it not as some kind of indication that I'm not doing it right, I'm not getting grounded enough, or not being clear enough about energy management, which is really what I'm talking about, but that I take it as a cue that I'm learning just like everybody else. So I carry this stone with me, and when I feel things a little out of control, I'll pick it up and I'll hold it, and it happens to be shaped just to fit right in my hand in a certain way, and it kind of brings me back to a state of groundedness. But I'm available all the time to come back to being grounded. That's the basic commitment. So, to do the work that I do, where people bring me difficult issues, and sometimes people bring me an expression of anger and fear and grief and sadness, and it's my job to be able to stay open enough to hold space for them to talk about it, process it, experience it, and so that I can help them move through it if I can. And but I take those skills to the supermarket too, to the farmer's market, to the shoe store, to the dollar store. I take those skills everywhere with me, because I don't need to feel subject to what's happening. I can experience or not experience what I want to. And so regarding energy and being conscious operators, this is a big invitation from Jehudi, the Ascended Master channel, and it is to be intentional about what you will experience. So in the context of my work, I will experience being of service to you if I can. I will hear what you need to say, and I will check in with the guides, and I'll read your energy field and your chakras, and I'll channel Jehudi for you, and I'll read your astrology chart and sometimes past life issues. But I don't take things on. So I'm available to help you if I can, and I'm available to keep my energy field intact. So people bring difficult issues to me, but I don't ever feel overwhelmed by them. Now I take that out into the world. Well, let's say I need to go to the grocery store, and really the only place that has what I want is some kind of major chain grocery store, which is not what I tend to go to. I buy most of my food at the Co-op here in Tucson, and it's just how I like it. It's really close to home, but it's just small and manageable, and it's nice and organic. Everything's great about it. So, but if I have to go to one of these stores that's got the fluorescent lights and the music blaring and the ads and the stuff about these mainstream stores, sometimes I can't be in there long, but sometimes I can go in and say, yeah, I'm going straight to this aisle and I'm getting this and I'm going to be fine. I don't have to rush, I don't have to be worried about it because I have the intention that I'm fine and I take on nothing. So I'm available to have my energy field stay intact. I'm available to get what I need to get. Now in that process I will run into people. Maybe maybe I can't find the thing that I'm looking for and I have to ask somebody. And maybe that person carries the energy of this corporation even if unintentionally. And I don't want to take it on. I don't have to. So I don't have to do any kind of protection strategy. And that's one of the big points here that I want to get at, is that we don't have to protect ourselves from energies. We have to be grounded and then intentional about what we're going to experience. And if you really open up to see that truth, your whole world will change. Because we have this thing about fearing energies we can't see, fearing spirits perhaps, fearing demons. We have this thing, even if you're not consciously relating to that, you have lives on earth where you are. You are consciously relating to that. Growing up in a religion that has perhaps a lot of mythology about demons or bad influences, negative forces. And now today, media, what are ghosts like? What are dead people like? Well, they probably want to break in your house and ruin your life and seek vengeance because you dug up their graves when your subdivision was built, whatever. But all these things, we don't actually need protection. We actually need to be very clear about what we're available to experience. This is a big topic, but I really wanted to put your attention on this fact, this truth that you are a resonance instrument for energy. So I want you to, do I want you to? I think it's a useful, well, I know it's a useful exercise. I believe it's a useful exercise. You can play with it if you want. But to look at your feelings. First, just to consider how this works. First, when you're by yourself, what are you feeling? And then the phone call and a friend says something and it kind of triggers something and you hang up. What are you feeling? Why are you feeling that? And then I also want you to be aware of the feeling you have when you're out in public and you go to one of these mainstream stores or any store, or you're waiting in line at the courthouse for something, or you're talking to a police officer, or anything that involves encountering people who carry energies of institutions even. But looking at your emotions and keeping in mind this is a response to energy. In fact, there are two categories. One category is energies that you carry that then are resonant with energies you encounter in the world, such as maybe you've encountered some kind of tyranny from an authority figure and then you run across some kind of authority figure now, 30 years later, who's kind of hard-edged, and that kind of triggers that. That's one thing. And the other thing is just the energies that other people carry that you might be responding to. And we all have different levels of response to these two things. But be aware of it. Look at it. Try on for size that what you're feeling, you're actually responding with emotion to an energy that you encounter. I think it's an interesting exercise. I play with it all the time because of the work that I do and all the channeling I've been doing that really makes it clear that we are energetic beings having physical experiences. So I encourage you to check out the 4-channel books on my website. And my name is Tom Jacobs. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, psychic medium, and channel at tdjacobs.com. Thanks for watching.